But it actually was a very, very deep cultural cleave that was bound to erupt at some point, and people had been saying that slavery will only be cured by the sword. They had been saying that for generations. One of the founding fathers, I just forget who, you're probably familiar with the quote, said it was going to tear the nation asunder, and it did. I think John Adams said it was just going to be catastrophic when it finally came about, and he was right. It took another 60 years, I believe, after he wrote that. But anyways, the Civil War was a massive catastrophe, which was based in the cultural ways of the South versus the cultural ways of the North. You can't reject individual rights and uphold slavery while you have an attitude of progress and freedom. That doesn't go together with slavery. Slavery and progress don't go together. That's why some people can't understand. America, they believe, got rich off of slavery. Is that true? No. The areas that used slavery stayed poor. That's a very important point to remember in history. Slavery increases and perpetuates poverty. Part of the reason for that is because part of your population's enslaved. They're not being productive. They're just doing what they're told. And the other part of the population's not doing anything. They're just telling someone else to do something. Both of them remain in total poverty. So it's only in the North where they valued individualism and reason and freedom that they were able to build the society we know of as modern America. The South was backward like European, a class system with these bizarre traditions, agrarian traditions. Big lesson to learn there. Now, one of the biggest recessions in the whole of the 1800s came, I believe, in 1870, or did it start in 72? I believe it started in 70 and ended in 72. Might have started in 72 and ended 73. I don't have the reference in front of me because that's my next point. Went to my favorite book on American history. I thought, I don't remember mentioning much about recessions in there. He did mention the reasons for the first big recession was the institutionalization of immigration controls in 1819. He mentions that, but he doesn't mention recession anywhere else, so I thought I'll go to the glossary in the back. I looked up recession. It says, see Great Depression. So the Great Depression is the only time he talks about recession. I thought I'll go to the Great Depression, see what he says about that. So here we are, page 727, chapter 7, or part 7, Superpower America, 1929 to 1960. His opening paragraph. The Wall Street crash, Paul Johnson, the Wall Street crash of October 1929 and the Great Depression which followed it, lasting effectively till the beginning of World War II in 1939, remain mysterious. He says they remain mysterious, despite more than half a century of economic and historical analysis since. They remain mysterious, he says. Bear markets and the economic downturns they provoke reflect trade cycles which seem to be an inevitable feature of the modern industrial world economy. Seem to be. These remains mysterious. They are coercive, they're corrective instruments restoring overheated markets and economies to reality, thus forming stable platforms from which growth can be resumed, soon reaching higher levels. What is puzzling about the events of the decade of 29 to 39 is the continuing severity of the market falls and the length and obstinacy of the depression. What follows is an attempt to make an historical sense of a tragic series of events for which no satisfactory explanation has yet been provided. He gives us two books, two references for that. Two useful guides to these events are J.K. Galbraith's The Great Crash of 1929. Now, Galbraith was a Keynesian, if you please. But then he has Murray Rothbard, America's Great Depression. How could he read Rothbard's America's Great Depression and not know that America's Great Depression was caused by the Fed, by government intervention? Now, unfortunately, I don't have a damn thing by Rothbard anywhere on any of my shelves. But he's a libertarian. He's an Austrian economist. I can't... Does anybody know? Is anyone out there familiar with Rothbard's book, America's Great Depression? What does it say in there? Could you read that and come out, as this gentleman comes out saying that the Wall Street crash and the Great Depression remain mysterious? Well, the Wall Street crash and the Great Depression are not mysterious. Paul Johnson, to the contrary notwithstanding. So, we're going to have to use some other sources to talk about the recessions of the 1800s, what exactly caused them, and so on. And that'll be the next video installment in Capitalism.